Welp, nobody can say that young and restless Ian Ward didn't go out with a bang. In the January 29 episode, the madmen held the Newman family at gunpoint. Well, except for Abby, who always manages to get excluded from such things, whether because Dad Victor didn't fum for as ordered or because Melissa Ordway is now recurring, not a contract player. But Ian still did a lot of damage. Not only did he pistol whip Victor's henchman Mortensen, but he also shot Victor. Of course, Ian himself also took a bullet in the chaos. While Nick was perfectly content to watch the villain die a slow and painful death, whether he will is TBD, it also didn't look so hot for the patriarch of the Newman family. As the hour drew to a close, Victor was bleeding badly and could barely remain conscious. Of course, the idea of the show killing him off is beyond ludicrous. The legendary Eric Braeden has made it clear that he has no intention of retiring from his iconic role. So Victor is almost surely as safe as a kitten. Ian, on the other hand, with his partner in crime Jordan recently having bitten the dust, read Colleen Zenk's goodbye here, he could well be next. Even gullible Tessa isn't going to want to give him a second chance after this. Hey everyone, welcome back to Radiant Serum. I'm Aubrey, and I hope your day is shining bright. Thank you for joining me. Let's jump right into today's video. At the Newman Ranch, Ian holds a gun on Victor, his henchmen Mortensen, Nick, and Michael. He orders them to back off as Victor warns he will never get past security. Ward is willing to take his chances, even though Victor is sure he is only signing his death warrant. "Want to make a deal?" he asks. That gives Ian a laugh. He's not about to start negotiating with them. Victor says he's cornered like a dog. "Come on, man. You keep talking like that you're going to make me feel bad," says Ian. Nick warns that he can't take them all out before security will come down on him. It's clear to Ward that they won't let him leave alive, so he's determined to go out on his terms. Ian orders Mortensen to step over so he can check him for weapons. After pistol whipping the henchman unconscious, Ian declares the playing field is a little more level now. As he chuckles, Victor warns him that he's crossed a line. Nick demands that he let them know where Tessa and Aria are. Ian insists he has no idea, but Nick won't relent. As he keeps yelping, Michael gets him to back down. Ward complains that they dragged him over there in the middle of the night and attacked him. He only came back to Genoa City to find redemption, but they refused to see that he was a changed man. "You are a sick man," says Victor. Ian says they have driven him to this. Whatever happens next is on them. If he's going out big and bringing the Newman family down with him. He wants the other children called over and cocks the gun when Victor refuses. Threatening to shoot Nick right now, he repeats his demand that Victor call his other children. Michael steps up and urges Ian to stop this. He's sure he doesn't want to sacrifice himself just to go after the Newmans. Why throw away his freedom over this? Ian points out that Victor has already made it clear he will never be free. There's no sense in not doing this. He's compassionate, so he tells Michael that he can go. Michael refuses to turn his back on his boss, who has been more of a father to him than his own father ever was. His loyalty seems misguided to Ian. Baldwin is determined to make Ward see the rationale of ending things peacefully. "Nope, I'm good," Ian says, demanding once again that the other children be called over so they can finally get to the theatrics and tears. After he threatens to shoot Nick in the head, Victor calls Adam and asks him to come over, saying it's an emergency. Ian bursts out laughing. "Let's get this party started," he declares before calling up the stairs for Nikki to come down and see what's about to happen to her family. Moments later, Nikki files down the stairs with Claire and Victoria. She gasps when she notices the man on the floor. After she asks Victor what happened, she gasps again upon spotting Ian. "A veritable slumber party. My lucky night," Ian says, gleefully. Ward tells her that her husband has shattered his belief in the power of redemption, and now they all have to pay for it. After herding the family to one side of the room, Ian orders Victor to call Abby, the sassy one. Sighing, Victor makes the call, telling her to come over because there is an emergency. Victoria thinks this is ridiculous. What's the point? Ian claims he's saving the world from the Newman cesspool. When Nikki mocks him, he says she will go last after watching everyone she loves die. Victoria pleads for Ian to let her daughter go, but he doesn't think she's innocent. She took part in Jordan's death. He admits that he knew the late madwoman and that they had a bond. There was a purity to her that he fell in love with when he least expected it. The Newmans killed her. When Victor insists she killed herself, Ian says she would never leave him. They took her away from him just as they've taken everything from everybody. At the very least, there will be justice for Jordan, he declares. Nikki says she doesn't deserve justice after all she did, torturing her and killing her friend in cold blood. She was pure evil, just like him. Ian says she never understood him or Jordan. Stepping up, Claire says that her aunt could never have loved him. She was a sociopath and only capable of hatred. If she pretended to love him, it was only to manipulate him. Ian says that her aunt loved her, but Claire refuses to accept that and says she weaponized her against people who are kind and generous. That invites a guffaw from Ian, who rails about how the Newmans take what isn't theirs and threaten those who get in their way. Claire tells him that her aunt complained about him. That outrages him and he starts at her with the gun. Victor barks at him to back off and Victoria begs again for him to let her daughter go. Ward complains that Claire's mouth is pure Newman, so she stays. He refuses to accept that Jordan would take her own life and accuses them of luring her in and pushing her to death. Pointing at Claire, he says she needs to be punished. Adam walks in, surprised to see what's going on. Ian reminds him they used to be partners in crime and tells him to join the others. With the whole family in one corner, Ian laughs that he can feel the love washing over him. Victor asks him again if they can make a deal. Ward assumes he's offering money. When Victor says he would give up his whole empire to save his family, everyone shakes their heads. Ian asks if he would give up his own life to save them. After Victor declares he would happily do so, Nick says that Ian wouldn't be able to get his first shot off before they came at him. It's all of us or none of us, declares Nikki. Backing up, Ward sadly says he wanted a family with Jordan, but it's not to be. Adam says he knows from experience how pragmatic Ian is and asks him what his price is. Ian accuses him of being his father's lackey, always stuck doing the dirtiest deeds. He knows how much he resents his father and the whole family. Nick and Victoria start protesting and Ian mocks them before moving back to Nikki. He says she's only ever been a possession to Victor. She claims they have the kind of love he could never comprehend. So wondrous it drove you to booze, Ian points out. He thinks any of them would be willing to sell their soul just for a bigger piece of the pie. Rising from his chair, Victor warns him that he won't get out of there alive unless they make a bargain. Ian knows, and he doesn't intend to get out. He also doesn't intend for Victor to get out alive. Urging him not to be a fool, Victor offers him a fortune. Money means nothing to Ian. All he wants is to see his carcass on the floor. Repeating his offer of money, Victor agrees to drive off the property with him. Ward asks how many marksmen would be aiming at him while they do. He repeats his plan to kill his family members one at a time while Nikki watches. When he wonders why Abby hasn't shown up, Victor admits he didn't call her. Ian asks Nikki how she copes with watching her husband love a child he fathered with another woman. It must be a reminder of all the hell he put her through. Nikki insists they are a family and nothing can break them. Dismissing this as pathetic, Ian prods Victor to pick who dies first. No one dies but me, Victor insists. He steps closer to him, calling him a coward. Ian shoots him in the arm. As the family crowds around bleeding Victor, Ian orders them not to call anyone. Victor suddenly lurches at Ward, pushing him onto the couch. The gun goes off and Ian is hit. As he slumps onto the floor, Victor's family pulls him up. Nick grabs the gun and Michael calls for an ambulance. "Did I get the son of a bitch?" Victor asks. Adam tells his dad he saved them all. Nikki and Victoria soak up Victor's blood as he grumbles. They try to keep him awake, but he can hardly keep his eyes open. He mutters to his wife that she's beautiful. Ian continues to bleed in a chair. He prompts Nick to use the gun and finish the job. Nick doesn't believe in killing people in cold blood. Ian complains that he'd rather watch him die slowly and painfully. Nick muses about the pain he's caused other people and says that sounds pretty cool to him. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, January 30, force Chance to sift through what Victor tells him, what the evidence tells him, what his gut tells him, and try to figure out what really happened when Ian came barging into the Newman home. Pity poor Chance Chancellor. Not only does he have a silly name, not only does he seem to be the only cop in Genoa City, but he also has to be the only cop in Genoa City when Victor believes that the police force exists exclusively to protect and serve him. Now that he's been shot, it will probably be even worse, and that protecting and serving Victor means believing his testimony of what happened, how it happened, and most importantly, why it happened. Hey, remember when neither Nick nor Victoria had to pay for Ashland's death? Remember when Victor faked his death and faked no consequences? Remember when Chelsea tried to kill Ray and frame Adam and got away with it? Yeah, Victor would like some more of that, Chance. Of course, Victor doesn't just expect Chance to take his word for it. There will be corroborating testimony from Nikki and Victoria and Nick and whomever else Victor tells to corroborate his version of events. So here's a script, everybody. Commit it to memory. Then try to sound natural when you deliver it. Victor will likely expect Mariah to get with the program too, but she's a little traumatized at the moment, thanks to Ian, so she can take a few minutes to get over it. And then she too can wonder. Ask not what Victor can do for you. Ask what you can do for Victor. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Claire Grace Newman is now ready to move on with her life. After watching Jordan drink up the poisoned tea and possibly breathing her last, Claire feels safer. She feels that she can finally live her life without fearing that Jordan would return to disrupt her life or cause any more danger to her loved ones. After all, she is deceased due to poisoning. But is she really? Sure, we saw Jordan close her eyes and go motionless after guzzling down the poisoned tea. But that does not necessarily mean that she passed away. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that there is more to come in the future. It is very much possible that Jordan was only unconscious and nearly dead, but not actually gone. She could have woken up on her way to the morgue and escaped. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that this won't be the first time a character would come back from the grave. If it does happen, we are certain that this time Claire would be her first target. After all, not only did her niece betray her, but also laid out a meticulous death trap for her. Jordan may decide to do her sinister best and not take Claire out in one go. She may choose to inflict mental and emotional torment on her niece and try to push her to the brink of insanity. We are currently watching Sharon Newman deal with horrific hallucinations of Cameron. It is possible that Jordan may start haunting Claire and make her believe that she is not real and just a figment of her imagination. These staged hallucinations could certainly start messing with Claire's head, and she may start acting strangely. Kyle and her family will notice her odd behavior and perhaps not believe her claims that she is seeing Jordan. If it goes too far, we may even see her family committing her to the psyche ward again, hoping to get her some help. But will the help actually help her? January already feels like February sweeps because of Jordan and Ian's reign of terror. The Young and the Restless spoilers set Genoa City on fire these past weeks with poisonings and dramatic confrontations. But you might be wrong if you thought things couldn't get any crazier. With Tessa and Aria's disappearance, there is still mystery around the person who's pulling the strings. Is there a new villain? The Young and the Restless spoilers recall that Karma finally caught up with Jordan after all. Then, Ian Ward turned up at the Newman ranch to pick the most dangerous fight ever. In a nutshell, it's been villain after villain stirring the pot. But what's next? Moreover, it looks like Ian will end up in a coffin, which leaves us with one big mystery. Where in the world are Tessa Porter and little Aria Copeland Porter? On January 27, Maria Copeland swung by Sharon Newman's house, only to find that her wife and daughter were gone. She immediately pointed fingers at Ian. Who wouldn't, right? But what if he's actually innocent for once? According to Y and R spoilers, Ian will take a bullet on January 29, and we don't know if he'll make it out alive. Nevertheless, he has been denying his part in Tessa and Aria's kidnapping from the get-go. If he's being honest, then we wonder who is responsible for snatching them. Will Genoa City get another unhinged baddie? With Jordan out of the picture and Ian heading for the abyss, the town can use another evil mastermind. Furthermore, Tessa and Maria's messy past can easily attract people who would love to seek vengeance. How about an old face like Ben Stitch Rayburn or a new psycho to spell trouble? The CBS soap is delivering big time, and anything can happen next. It will be interesting to see if Ian spills the beans before he kicks the bucket. Victor Newman and Nick Newman will be left scrambling for answers if he takes his secrets to the grave. Ian spent most of the January 29 episode of The Young and the Restless taunting the Newmans, while Victor insisted he wouldn't get away with it. Victor has the best security team in the world. Like that guy lying unconscious at Victor's feet. Since we know Victor would only hire the best, we have to assume his security team is, in fact, tops, which means something else is going on here. Sure, Victor shot Ian, but that only happened after Ian shot Victor first, and after he pistol-whipped the guy who was supposed to be protecting Victor. How did that happen, exactly? How did a crazy, unarmed loon like Ian get the best of a perfectly trained, top-of-the-line security guard? Pretty easily, as a matter of fact. The guard leaned over Ian, all but offering him his own gun, then politely turned around and let Ian incapacitate him. That couldn't have been an accident. That had to be planned, right? We refuse to believe that the guard wasn't working for Ian. It's either that, or he is incredibly bad at his job. Victor would never hire someone bad at their job. That would reflect badly on Victor. This was a setup. But why? Who would ever betray Victor? Don't the folks who work for him love him as a father? Don't they vie for the chance to lay down their lives for him? Why wouldn't they work for Victor, even if there was no money in it for them? We know Victor believes that, and there might lie the crux of the problem. Victor is probably a terrible employer, not just because he abuses and berates his workers, but that's okay. He treats his family the same way. He honestly believes they would work for him just for the honor of it, and so he pays them accordingly. We bet Victor's security staff is the best in the world and also the worst paid. That's why they keep letting villains in and letting them grab their guns. They really want his dream job to come to an end. The Young and the Restless recap for Wednesday, January 29, reveals that during a showdown at the Newman ranch, Ian shot Victor, and Victor managed to shoot Ian. Both men were injured. Ian pointed the security guard's gun at Victor, Michael, Nick, and the guard. Victor warned Ian that he wouldn't escape. As the men urged him to surrender, Ian knocked the guard unconscious and dismissed their threats. Nick demanded that Ian tell them where Tessa and Aria were located. However, Ian insisted he loved Mariah and wouldn't harm her. He claimed he sought redemption in Genoa City. Victor tried to reason with him, but Ian wanted the entire Newman family present. He insisted that Victor call Adam, Abby, and Victoria. Victor asks Adam to come to the ranch. Ian yelled out, causing Nikki, Victoria, and Claire to come downstairs. Ian also forced Victor to call Abby. Nikki, Victoria, and Claire were horrified to see the unconscious guard and Ian wielding a gun. Ian ranted about purging the Newmans. Nikki mocked him, enraging Ian. He declared she would die last. As the standoff escalated, Claire manipulated Ian, telling him Jordan had accused him of abandoning her. Enraged, Ian refused to release Claire and demanded to know how Jordan died. Victor shouted at him to back off. Adam walked in and was disgusted by Ian's threats. Ian reminded Adam of their past. Victor offered Ian anything in exchange for his family's safety, even his own life. Adam warned Ian they would destroy him if he opened fire, but Ian insisted it was time for justice. Victor tried bargaining with money, but Ian only wanted revenge. When Ian realized Victor had never called Abby, he taunted Nikki about how Victor had gotten rid of her to raise Abby. However, Nikki said she loved Abby. Victor lunged, and Ian shot him. As the family screamed, Nick restrained Ian while Victoria tried to stop Victor's bleeding. In the chaos, Victor wrestled Ian's gun, and another shot rang out. Both men collapsed, wounded. Nick held an injured Ian at gunpoint. Adam waited as the ambulance approached while Nikki and Victoria worked to keep Victor conscious. Linden Ashby's time as Cameron has come to an end on The Young and the Restless. He came back in a fresh and unexpected way. Cameron turned out to be part of Sharon's consciousness. Ashby shared what it was like to work with Sharon Case again and talked about his surprising bromance with Joshua Morrow. In a new interview with Soap Opera Digest, Ashby talked about his working relationship with Sharon Case. He revealed that Cameron was part of Sharon's mind. The two actors pretended that Cameron was Sharon's invisible friend. Ashby revealed what it was like to work with Case again. He commended her for her incredible acting and hard work throughout this difficult storyline. "I only know Sharon from my relationship with Sharon, and I don't know if people realize how serious she is about the work she does, how serious she is about being an actor and the craft of being an actor," Ashby explained. "It's just so much fun to work with her." Case was sad about Cameron's reign coming to an end. She asked her co-star, "Why do you have to go away? Why can't you stay?" The two actors had fun with their characters going on new journeys together. Ashby joked about the idea of Sharon living her life and coming home to cook Cameron dinner. Meanwhile, there was a bromance blossoming behind the scenes. Ashby's alter ego is not a fan of Nick and vice versa. However, the two grew close behind the scenes. There is a point where Morrow gets jealous of Ashby's tight-knit relationship with Case. Nick wasn't supposed to see Cameron, but the two couldn't stop laughing in between takes. "I asked him if he was jealous of Sharon because she got the lion's share of the scenes with you, and the answer was a resounding yes," Ashby exclaimed. The actor called Morrow such a fun person to be around. Morrow is the ultimate jokester. It would be impossible for Nick and Cameron to become BFFs in real life. Cameron is dead, and there's that whole history of stalking Sharon. But we would love to see this dynamic play out in some form. Nick would have to go to the dark side for it to happen. What are your thoughts on Ashby's bromance with Morrow? Let us know in the comment section. The Young and the Restless star Zuleika Silver shared the details of an impressive accomplishment in her personal life. She suggested that with her accomplishment, she has a potential backup plan if all else fails. In an Instagram story posted on January 27, Silver shared a photo in black and white. She wrote, "When all else fails, there's always jiu-jitsu. Third stripe tonight, baby." Silver had a big smile on her face as she held out the end of her belt with its 3 stripes. An instructor stood next to her and had a big smile on his face as well. The Lie and R star also tagged the place she has been training, the Cobrinha BJJ Alliance lay and thanked them for being part of her journey. In November 2024, Silver posted on Instagram about having started learning jiu-jitsu. The caption read, "So grateful to have found Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Got my second stripe. Who wants to see my moves?" According to the website BJJ Fanatics, Silver's white belt is the first of several colors in the progression of skills in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Each color also has stripes one earns before moving up to the next color of belt. Silver will earn 4 stripes on her white belt before she moves up to a blue belt. After earning her second stripe in November, she has now earned her third stripe as well. BJJ Fanatics notes that the time investment needed to progress in the system depends on the student's dedication and skill level. Based on Silver's posts about her journey, it appears she is both skilled and dedicated. Learning jiu-jitsu seems to be Silver's latest passion when it comes to her physical health. In May 2024, she posted a video on Instagram that indicated she was training in boxing too. "Feeling stronger every week," she wrote in the caption of that post. Colleen Zenk has ended her run as Jordan on The Young and the Restless. Last week, the villain made a dramatic exit, which left everyone stunned. Zenk is a soap opera icon, famous for her role as Barbara on As the World Turns. 13 years after the show's cancellation, she made her soap opera comeback as Jordan on My and Art. Fans were ecstatic to see Zenk back on screen, and the actress shined in her new role. Jordan quickly became Genoa City's newest villain as she terrorized the Newmans and her niece, Claire. Although Jordan was eventually captured and sent to prison, she made her grand escape. With the help of her new partner, Ian, they began wreaking havoc on Genoa City. The duo was responsible for Heather's murder, drugging and kidnapping Sharon, and running Phyllis off the road. While Jordan and Ian's partnership was a delight, unfortunately, their crimes caught up with them. During a confrontation with Claire and the Newmans, Jordan drank poison tea, choosing death over returning to prison. Jordan's death shocked fans, who can't believe this is the end for the notorious bad girl. But nobody was more upset by Jordan's demise than Zenk. "I'm sad Jordan went away so quickly," Zenk told TV Insider. "I thought that Ian and Jordan would go out like Bonnie and Clyde together." Although her role ended too soon, Zenk is grateful for her time at Y&R. The actress praised the cast and crew for making her feel welcome and the fans for their support. Thanks to the show, Zenk also regained self-confidence. "My biggest takeaway is I can still work this medium," she said. "I can still do this. And for my age with no work, I look pretty good on camera, not too bad. For a 72-year-old woman to be given this kind of opportunity, I'd jump in again." When the Newmans thought they had rid themselves of the villainous Jordan on The Young and the Restless, they didn't account for one thing: her partner in crime, Ian Ward. And Ian isn't just back for revenge. He's back with a vengeance that's hotter than ever, literally. If you thought the drama was over, think again. The Firestarter Supreme is back, and he's ready to burn it all down. Ian Ward is not a man who takes betrayal lightly, especially when it involves his so-called family. Jordan, Colleen Zenk, was his right-hand woman, his loyal confidant, and now she's 6 feet under, thanks to Nikki, Victoria, and Claire. Does Ian cry? Nope. Does he retreat? Absolutely not. Instead, he was waving his gun at the ranch good, and has not only shot Victor, but had a bullet wound himself too. Is Ian close to death? Maybe. But knowing him, he won't just survive this gunshot. He'll use it to feed his anger and keep him going for years to come. And he won't settle for something as simple as shooting the family like he originally planned. That's just not Ian's style. He's not one to backtrack. He's a showman, a master manipulator, and above all else, he's a man who knows how to make people suffer. If history has taught us anything, it's that Ian loves to play with fire. Ian Ward has a history of, shall we say, hot revenge tactics. Need we remind everyone of that blaze he set on Halloween at the Newman Tower? The guy practically has arson in his DNA. With Jordan gone, he's not just angry, he's furious. And what better way to make a statement than evading capture, lighting a match, and watching Newman Enterprises go up in flames? Picture this. Victoria walks into the office only to find smoke billowing from the conference room. The sprinklers go off, alarms blare, and suddenly, the entire empire is on the verge of collapse, literally. And Ian? He's standing outside, smirking, enjoying every second of the chaos. The Newmans thought Jordan was their biggest problem. They thought she was the mastermind. But they forgot about the true puppet master. Ian is a man who never truly loses. Ian Ward is back, and this time, he's playing for keeps. Will the Newmans survive his wrath, or will Ian finally burn their world to the ground? Tessa went missing on The Young and the Restless. Maria is panicked about her whereabouts because she has baby Aria with her. But where did Tessa go? There's good news and bad news on my and our. The good news is that Sharon was found safe and sound. There is also another piece of good news. Jordan is finally dead. She will not bother the Newmans ever again. But is that true? People do come back from the dead on soap operas. Now for the bad news. Maria discovered that Tessa had gone missing. She took baby Aria with her. Maria immediately feared the worst. She believes the two got kidnapped by Ian. Suddenly, her worst nightmares have come true. There could also be a simple reason behind Tessa's disappearance. She might have upped and left Maria because of their argument about Ian. Tessa couldn't understand Maria's complicated past with him. Ian has been obsessed with Maria for years. Maria explained to Tessa that she was groomed to be his child bride. She shared the details of his past as a cult leader who conned and killed people. Tessa hasn't been as supportive of Maria as she should be. She feels that Ian has turned a new leaf. There was that time when she fell under his spell. Ian tried to drug Tessa and drag her away. Thankfully, Maria, Nick, and Faith were there in the nick of time. Yet this hasn't convinced Tessa that Ian is a bad guy. It's possible that Tessa took off because she didn't like what Maria said about Ian. However, it's not like her to take off and not tell Maria. It's also possible that Ian didn't snatch Tessa and Aria. Something else could have happened. This new storyline could unfold on My and R. On the heels of Young and Restless penning a rather anticlimactic end for Claire's crazy aunt, fans expressed dismay over Jordan's death. And it turns out they're not the only ones who felt that way. Colleen Zenk, who played the deliciously devious villainess, was unhappy about the exit as well. As viewers now know, crazy Aunt Jordan met her maker in the tack house on the Newman ranch with several family members, including her niece Claire, standing around watching. After a puzzling twist in the story, saw the madwoman allowing herself to be lured into the lion's den. As it were, it came as a surprise to no one that she ended up cornered with no hope of escape. Opting to go out on her own terms, Jordan seized a tainted cup of tea and downed it rather than allow the family she so loathed to send her back to prison. This turn of events didn't go over well with fans who were either hoping for Jordan to wreak more havoc in Genoa City before Zenk's latest stint came to an end, or who were hoping that her exit would have been written so as to leave the door open for future returns. The star who played the role admitted that she too was sad Jordan went away so quickly. Amid an exit interview in which she expressed her gratitude for her many scene partners, including Melody Thomas Scott, Eric Braeden, Ray Wise, and of course, Haley Aaron, Zenk told TV Insider, "I thought that Ian and Jordan would go out like Bonnie and Clyde together." Indeed, separating the partners in crime turned lovers was a curious choice, and something of a letdown to the audience members who loved watching them riff off of one another in their many scenes in that dingy motel room. Could our favorite new villainess return even though we saw her die on screen? Well, in soap operas we never say never, and this twist in Jordan's death would change absolutely everything. Last November, we brought fans news that former Young and the Restless fave Daniel Goddard had a new project in the works. While the actor couldn't give specifics, he let his followers know how much he had missed them and teased that something truly incredible is in the midst. In Goddard's latest video post, he was dressed to impress in a black suit and tie, wearing a smile that he couldn't seem to contain. With only the hashtag New Beginnings accompanying the reel, various fans quickly began to wonder if he was bringing Kane back to Genoa City. After the bold and the beautiful's Kimberlyn Brown jumped into the comments to let him know that he was looking good, one fan, Alexis Edwards, stated, "Bold and beautiful would appreciate some Kane," aside from Lily noting that Kane had visited with the twins. The last time we saw the character in Genoa City was in November 2019, when he tried to convince Devon that he had changed and planned to prove it by tracking down Colin and returning the money to the person Catherine had intended it to go to. So, would you like to see Goddard bring Kane back home for a visit, or maybe for good? And if so, would you pair him back up with Lily or with someone new? Or should he take his character and head over to Sister So Bold and Beautiful? We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to post them in the comment section. On The Young and the Restless, Linden Ashby played Cameron Kirsten, a businessman with a dark side who became obsessed with Sharon. Now that the pair has said their goodbyes, the actor shares what it was like to have the role resurrected. Actor Linden Ashby originated the role of businessman Cameron Kirsten in 2003 and left again in 2004. Sharon had been dealing with some pesky life stuff that made her question everything, and she left for Denver to find herself. What she found was Cameron in a bar, and after a one-night stand, he physically abused her and tried to kill her. Sharon escaped and came back to Genoa City. A year later, Cameron came to town and terrorized Sharon's life, resulting in her stabbing him to death in the chest. 20 years after Cameron's death, Sharon's life was in turmoil. Unaware that her meds had been tampered with PCP, Sharon began seeing hallucinations of Cameron's ghost. What started out as terrifying became comforting sometimes, though, as Cameron would appear when Sharon felt her most alone and vulnerable. Viewers followed the process to realize that the ghost was actually the manifestation of Sharon seeing and talking with a version of herself. Cameron eventually motivated Sharon to find inner strength, think through what she was doing, and ultimately save herself. This week, Sharon's drama came to what viewers believe is an end, for now anyway, but with the departure of Cameron from Sharon's thoughts, so went Linden Ashby from our screens. In an interview with Soap Opera Digest, actor Linden Ashby talked about his unorthodox return to The Young and the Restless last fall. Ashby said that he loved the concept of his character being Sharon talking to herself. Ashby wondered if people realized how serious Sharon Case is about her work, being an actor and its craft. "I think everybody on that show worked hard at it. I'm like a broken record saying this, but it is the hardest job in Hollywood, being a soap opera actor. I mean, the amount of pages that you do every day, and then you finish and you go home, and you get ready for tomorrow," Ashby shared. "The crew is amazing, the bosses are amazing, the cast is amazing, everybody in makeup, hair, wardrobe, camera, light, sound, electrical, props. You name it. There's nobody there who's not nice. I think there's like a only nice people allowed policy. It's pretty unique and it's pretty special," Ashby shared warmly. It's been a very long day for the Newmans. From Claire discovering Aunt Jordan at Crimson Lights to poisoning her tea at the Tack House, to Sharon rescuing herself to Tessa going missing, to Victor summoning Ian to the ranch to them both getting shot in the middle of the night. It's been a very, very long day indeed. On Wednesday's episode of The Young and the Restless, the Newmans recover from the very volatile situation with Ian. Both Ian and Victor were shot. An ambulance had been called, but Ian didn't think it would be needed for him. He was sure he would die a slow, painful death while the Newmans watched. But does he survive this time, or does he succumb to his injuries? Adam had told his dad how much he regretted working with Ian in the past, and said that seeing Victor take a bullet had changed everything. Adam said just the other day that he never wanted to go through again, but that's exactly what happened. Victor had lost a lot of blood and was in extreme pain after being shot. While waiting for the ambulance, he seemed to be fading. Will Victor survive being shot? Chance had been searching for Jordan and Ian to no avail. When he found out that Jordan had been at the ranch, it was too late for an arrest. But when Chance was questioning Victor, he told him that Jordan had brought her own vial of poison, when it was actually Claire who put sleeping pills in Jordan's tea. On Thursday, Chance uncovers the truth. But what does he discover? Victor lied to him, but there have been so many secrets told by Jordan and Ian too. Do we finally find out exactly what happened to Heather? In all of the chaos of Jordan coming to the ranch, Ian and Victor getting shot, and Sharon coming home, Maria had gone home only to discover that Tessa and their baby, Aria, were gone. Jordan and Ian may be out of commission, but Maria's nightmare is far from over. On Thursday, Maria's world is rocked. On The Young and the Restless, Ian pointed Mortensen's gun at Nick, Michael, and Victor in the Newman living room, and reminded them that they had dragged him to the ranch in the middle of the night. He had not barged in. He insisted he had come to Genoa City to make amends, but they refused to believe that or saw that he had changed. Victor told Ian he was a sick man who needed help. Ian said whatever happened now was on all of them, and they gave him no choice. "I'm going to do what I should have done a long time ago," Victor said. He offered Ian a deal. Ian said if he was going out, he was going to drag the whole family down with them. Ian ordered Victor to invite all the kids over immediately. Ian pointed the gun at Nick and told Victor to call over his kids, or he'd kill Nick in front of him. Michael tried to reason with Ian, but he told them off. He told Michael that as he wasn't a member of the family, he could leave, but Michael insisted on staying. "I may not be blood, but Victor's been there more than my father ever was. Everything I learned about family loyalty, I learned from you," Michael told Victor. He said he was staying. Ian mocked his nobility, but Michael told him that he had a talent for negotiating with reasonability. Ian declined the offer and repeated he'd shoot Nick in the head. Nick told him not to, but Victor called Adam and asked him to come to the ranch immediately. Ian laughed in delight that they were getting the party started. He called upstairs to Nikki to come down and see what he was going to do to her family. Ian turned the gun on Mortensen and told him to turn around, then whacked him over the head with the gun a couple of times until he collapsed on the floor. Nikki, Claire, and Victoria came downstairs and realized that Ian was there holding everyone at gunpoint and spotted the security guard on the floor. Ian can't believe his luck to have all three join the party and makes them go stand with Nick, Michael, and Victor. Ian declared he was saving mankind from the corrupt, corrosive Newman cesspool. When Nikki called him gutless, Ian told Nikki he would kill her last, so she would be able to watch him kill them all one by one. Victoria pleaded for Claire to leave, but Ian called her a traitor. Ian admitted that he not only knew Jordan, but he had also fallen in love with her. "And you killed her," Ian grimaced. Victor told Ian that Jordan had killed herself, but Ian wouldn't believe it. He said Jordan would never leave him, and the Newmans had taken her away, just like they took everything and everyone else from him. Ian said tonight would be about justice for Jordan. Nikki snapped that Jordan didn't deserve justice after everything she did, killing and torturing people. "It was pure evil, just like you," Ian laughed. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that the citizens of Genoa City love nothing more than stirring up the drama. However, the soap's cast is known for their kind hearts and willingness to give back to the community. Recently, some my and our co-stars gathered to spend a day supporting an incredible cause, Project Angel Food. Learn more about this below. The Young and the Restless. colleagues volunteered to prepare meals for those in need. Project Angel Food is a nonprofit organization that prepares and delivers healthy meals to people impacted by serious conditions on a daily basis. This past Monday, January 27, Y&R cast members Courtney Hope, Mark Grossman, Kate Linder, Connor Floyd, Haley Aaron, Tracy E. Bregman, Sean Dominic, Laura Lee Bell, and Zulika Silver came together to volunteer for the organization, working in their kitchen to help with meal preparation. According to the organization's official Instagram handle, the Y&R cast hit the kitchen and made a huge impact by helping prepare 3,000 meals for critically ill clients of Project Angel Food. Photos are shown on their IG account of the Y&R stars that volunteered that day, all with Project's Angel Food hats and all donning smiles. There are 7 photos uploaded to the post, showing the Y&R cast hard at work in the kitchen, getting meals ready for those in need. Laura Lee Bell also shared some photos on her IG account from the day, with the following caption: "Spent the afternoon with my young and the Restless pals working for the amazing at Project Angel Food. Thank you for having us." Interestingly enough, Colleen Zenk commented on Bell's post stating, "Miss you all," with 3 heart emojis and a heart eyes emoji. Tracy E. Bregman shared a photo on her IG stories of the volunteer day, and other Y&R cast members who shared photos on their social media stories included Sean Dominic, Mark Grossman, Connor Floyd, Kate Linder, and Courtney Hope. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, January 29, promise some explosive drama in the land of Genoa City. There's an over-the-top confrontation, while a character faces a grim fate, and there will be more questions than answers in the aftermath of it all. What's set to unravel during Wednesday's show? Time to find out. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Ian Ward will hold all the cards. Y&R spoilers for Wednesday, January 29, reveal that the soap will kick off where Tuesday's episode left off. Of course, Ian Ward was able to finagle the gun off Victor Newman's security guy at the close of the show, so it seems as if the power in this confrontation will shift from the moustache, Nick Newman, and Michael Baldwin, and onto Ian. But what happens next? Y&R spoilers. Ian Ward's grim fate. Y&R spoilers for Wednesday, January 29, suggest that Ian will summon Nikki Newman downstairs to join in on the fun, and Victor's wife will be shocked at the turn of events in her living room. Still, Victor has made a vow to protect his family at all costs, and it looks like he'll make good on that promise. Somehow, someway, Victor will turn the tables on Ian and grab the gun. There may even be a struggle of some sort, which will likely lead to the gun going off and Ian will be shot. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Where is Tessa Porter and Area Porter Copeland? With that said, Y&R spoilers for Wednesday's episode imply that as Tessa Porter and Area Porter Copeland are still missing, the Newmans won't just let Ian die in their living room as they did with Jordan. 911 will probably be called in, with hopes that they can keep Ian alive long enough to find out where Tessa and Area are. Considering the circumstances, will Ian divulge that information or leave everyone, including Mariah Copeland, hanging? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.